Shadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Nitanshcha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama
Hare Krishna Arjun Sakha Prabhu ji, Dandat Pranams.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Pranam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu ji. Just 1 minute Prabhu ji. Hare Krishna devotees, we welcome all of you for the today's morning program, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Arjun Sakha Prabhu, and Prabhu will enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, 23rd chapter, verse 18. Over to you, Prabhu ji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna Prabhu. So, thank you very much, Prabhu, and I welcome all Prabhujis and Matajis to this morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. And let's start with Jai Radha Madhava, though I'm not a great singer. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी जय राधा वल्लभ राधे जय गौर निताई जय गौर निताई जय गौर निताई जय गौर निताई जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद श्रील प्रभुपद जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव श्रील गुरुदेव अष्टोत्तर शतशः श्री भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवी सरस्वती व्यासं ततो जयत्मुदुरये मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुलंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणे शून्यतां सकथां कृष्ण पुण्य श्रवणं कीर्तनं हृदयन्तस्तु अभद्राणि विभुनोति सहस्रतां नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोकैर्भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to assembled devotee. And I, on behalf of ICC, ISKCON South Bangalore, I welcome all of you for this Srimad Bhagavatam classes. So, let's start with this. So, this is Srimad Bhagavatam 4.23.18. We're discussing about Pṛthu Mahārāja. So, let's start with it. Tam sarvaguna vinyasam jiva maya maye nayadvat tam cha anusyam atmasvam asu anushai puman jnana vairagya viryenam sarupasta ajat prabhu tam sarvaguna vinyasam Jive maya maye nityat tam cha anushayam atmastam anushay puman jnana vijnana viryera sarupasta ajat Prabhu. Hare Krishna. And Mataji, Prabhuji, anybody would like to recite, please?
Lines are unmuted. Anybody can.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Tam sarva purna vinyasam jive maya mayenyadat tam atmasta masavanusai upuman jnana vairagya viryena swarupasto ajah Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Any Mataji, Prabhuji? Anyone would like to recite again? Okay, thank you. Prabhuji, can you share the translation, Prabhu, if you can, or otherwise I'll share
Yes, Prabhu, I will share.
the purport. Let's understand the purport.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. Translation. Pṛthu Mahārāja then offered the total designation of living entity unto the supreme controller of illusory energy, being released from all the designations by which the living entity became entrapped. He became free by knowledge and renunciation, and by the supreme force of his devotional service. In this way, being situated in this original constitutional position of Krishna consciousness, he gave off this body as Prabhu, or controller of senses. I'm repeating again. Pṛthu Mahārāja then offered the total designation of living entity unto the supreme controller of illusory energy, being released from all the designation by which the living entity became entrapped. He became free by knowledge and renunciation, and by the spiritual force of his devotional service. In this way, being situated in his original constitutional position of Krishna consciousness, he gave up his body as Prabhu, or controller of senses. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As situated in the Vedas, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the source of material energy. Consequently, he is sometimes called Maya, or the Supreme Person, who can create his pastime through his potency known as material energy. The jiva, or the individual living entity, becomes entrapped by the material energy by the supreme will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita 1861, we understand, Ishvara sarva bhutanam hridese Arjuna tishtati, Brahmayan sarva bhutani jantra rudhani mayaya. Ishvara, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is situated within the heart of all conditioned souls, and by his supreme will, the living entity or the individual soul gets the facility to lord it over material nature in various types of bodies, which are known as yantra, or the moving vehicle offered by the total material energy, Maya. Although the living individual entity, jiva, and the Lord are both situated within the material energy, the Lord is directing the movement of jiva, soul, by offering his different types of bodies through the material energy. And thus, the living entity is wandering throughout the universe in various forms of body and becomes implicated in different situations, partaking of the reaction of fruitive activities. Next paragraph. When Pṛthu Mahārāja became spiritually powerful by the enhancement of spiritual knowledge, jnana, and the renunciation of material desire, he becomes a Prabhu, or the master of his senses, sometimes called the Goswami or Swami. This means that he was no longer controlled by the influence of the material energy, When one is strong enough to give up the influence of the material energy, he is called Prabhu. In this verse, the word Sarupsthita is also very significant. The real identity of the individual so lies in understanding or attaining the knowledge that he is eternity, a servant of Krishna. This understanding is called Sarupa Labdhi. By culturing devotional service, the devotee gradually comes to understand his actual relationship with Supreme Personality of Godhead. This understanding of one's pure spiritual position is called Sarupa Labdhi. Sarupa Labdhi, Sarupa Sthiti. There's two different words. And when one attains the stage, he can understand how he is related with the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a servant or friend, or as a parent or conjugal lover. This stage of understanding is called Sarupa Sthita. Pṛthu Mahārāja realized this Sarupa completely, and it will be clear in the later verses that he personally left the world or this body by riding on the chariot sent by Vaikuntha. Next paragraph. In this verse, the word Prabhu is also significant. As stated before, when one is completely self-realized and acts according to this position, to that position, he can be called Prabhu. The spiritual master is addressed by Prabhupada because he is a completely self-realized soul. The word Pada means position, or Pada, position. Or Prabhupada indicates that he is given the position of Prabhu, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He acts on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Unless one is a Prabhu, or the controller of the senses, he cannot act as a spiritual master who is authorized by the Supreme Prabhu, or Lord Krishna. In this verse, praising the spiritual master, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, Sakha dharitvena samasta sastre, uktastata bhavyate eva sadve. The spiritual master is honored as much as Supreme Lord because he is most confidential savior of the Lord. Thus, Pṛthu Mahārāja can also be called Prabhupada, or the described therein Prabhu. Another question may be raised in this connection. Since Pṛthu Mahārāja was a power incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Satyaves Avatara, why did he have to execute the regulative principles in order to become a Prabhu? Because he appeared on this earth as an ideal king, and because it is the duty of the king to instruct the citizen in the execution of devotional service. He followed all the regulative principles of devotional service in order to teach others. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the Krishna himself, taught us how to approach Krishna as a devotee. It is say, Apani Achari Bhakti Sikhinu Savare, Sikhainu Savare. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed others in the process of devotional service by setting the example himself through his own personal action. Similarly, Pṛthu Mahārāja, although a Satyaves avatar incarnation, still behaved exactly as a devotee in order to achieve the position of Prabhu. Furthermore, Sarupsthit means complete liberation, as it is said, Hittva Anyatharupam Sarupena Vyavasthiti. When a living entity abandons the activities of Maya and attains the position from which he can execute devotional service, his state is called Sarupsthit, or complete liberation. Om Ajnanati Virandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakyurunmilitam Jainam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jaina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Shupadantikam. Bande Aham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavansam Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vidamtam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Shahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakha Antansha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhan Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarubhesya Kripa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaurabhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna. So it was in the year 2013 and I was with Sumit Prabhu in ISKCON Vrindavan, and we were discussing about how to progress in spiritual life, particularly how to get the urgency of that, and what is the best way and sublime way of discharging the devotional service. And one very acoustic devotee, the Ramapada Swami, His Grace, Mahārāja was there, and he could overheard the discussion, and he was smiling a little with a mruduhas, with a very wonderful smile. And I instructed Sumit Prabhu, why don't we take blessings of Prabhu, Guru Maharaj, and ask this question. Wonderfully asked. The question was how we can progress fast in our spiritual life. And we are feeling very slow. We are running for the last so many years. We've been trying, and nothing has, not even a stone in our heart moved yet. Though we have taken the shelter of Guru Maharaj, taken the shelter of Naam Prabhu, but it's still not moving. So Maharaj smiled and he answered in a very simple, very straightforward way. Glorify the devotees. Glorify devotees every day. Thank God. That's such a powerful answer. And today we got the opportunity in this particular verse. It is a great opportunity for us to glorify the devotee, Pṛthu Maharaj, the God, devotee, the Sattavik, the incarnation of Sattavik, the Lord, the Pṛthu Maharaj himself, and also the God. So this particular verse is powerfully been composed so that we can glorify both all these three entities together. The devotee in the Pṛthu Maharaj, the incarnation of the Lord, and also the Supreme Personality of God. And along with the quote unquote, there is one beautiful thing. The glorification of the characteristic of the devotees and the glorification of the devotional service. These five altogether, all the five glorifications are being totally composed within the particular verse. Right? Let me share this. And if you can read the word by word, unto him, the reservoir of all qualities, the reservoir of the all potencies. This is the quality of the Lord. Atmastvam, situated in self-realization. Anushai Puman. This is the devotee, this is the qualification, or this is the characteristic of the Pṛthu Maharaj, situated in self-realization. Jnana, Vairagya, Virena. This is the process. Swarupasthit, again, the glories of the devotee. And the Prabhu, again, the Prabhu is again glorification. You have Prabhupada here. Prabhupada both glorifies, with this Prabhu, he has glorified the Supreme Prabhu and also the Prabhu as the Jiva, who is the liberated soul. So this is a verse that we can, from here, we can get the opportunity of glorifying the entire devotional process. The God, the devotees, the process, and also the characteristic of devotional service. So here we'll be discussing about the 5 important points. Krishna is the supreme source of all material as well as the spiritual energy, and how we get entrapped by the material energy of the God, and what is the process to transcend from material energy to spiritual energy, and what is the difference between Swarup Sthita and Upalabdhi and Prabhu. These are the 5 points that we'll be learning from this particular verse. And here it is mentioned very clearly. We're discussing about the Pṛthu Mahārāja. Now he's going back to Godhead. And Pṛthu Mahārāja has come to such a position. He's the Godship himself. He's been given the opportunity to go with the body and with the chariot. And now he's giving each and everything. He's handing over everything to the Lord. What does it mean? Is there any particular things, or maybe kind of any that is physical things, in the form of a physical thing is handing over to the Krishna? He's handing over his designation. All his designation, he is giving it to the Lord. So what is the process of giving? The process of giving is just with soul, with complete, from your being to being, from soul to soul. I, as a living entity, giving each and everything that is associated with me to the Krishna, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has given the complete thing in us. If you read this Bhagavad Gita 21 and 22 verse, and before that, Upadrishta Anumanta Bhakti Bhakta Maheshwaram. So in this, Prabhupada has given a beautiful word. The jiva is nothing but the supreme, the spiritual energy of the Lord. I'm talking about the soul. The jiva is the supreme energy of the Supreme Lord. And when you talk about the supreme energy, the energy of the Supreme Lord, that means what we call me and mine, what we call identify myself as the I, is all illusion, because we are identifying that in the material form. The jiva is given a facility called the body. The jiva, the soul, which is the energy of the Lord, is given the facility called the mind, given the facility called intelligence, given the facility called the body and the senses. And when you look at all the body, all the senses, the mind, these are all the material energy of the Lord. And the intelligence, the gunas, and everything coming from the consciousness of the jiva, that is nothing but the energy of the Lord. So the entire body that I'm calling myself, or my identifying myself as me, is nothing but the bundle of energy of the Lord, the direct energy. The soul is the spiritual energy. Associated with the spiritual energy is the consciousness through which I can discriminate things, I can realize things, I can understand things. And also the body, the entire body, consisting of all the senses, the mind, nothing but the spiritual, the material energy. Bhumi apa analabayu khammana buddhirevacha ahankara iti yamme binnam prakriti ashtadha. Aparayam idam tvanya prakriti viddhime bhadra. Aparayam idam tvanya. Along with this apara sakti, the material sakti, there is one more energy, that is the parasakti is associated, and which is controlling everything and which is driving the body. Aparayam idam tvanya prakriti viddhime para. Jivabhuta mahavahu jayedam dharayat jagat. And the entire cosmos has been beholded by the supreme spiritual energy of the Lord. And the metal energies, the metal physical forms has been beholded by that. And everything is moving, or maybe enacting, or maybe actively participating because of what? Because of the spiritual energy of the Lord. This is the cosmos level, the material, the environmental level, and also at the spiritual level. At the bodily level, my jiva, my atma is the Supreme Lord, energy of the Supreme Lord, that is spiritual energy, and the intelligence comes along with this. The body, with the senses and mind, is nothing but the mental energy. So if I deeply understand this, what is this? It's nothing but the energy of the Lord, nothing but the grace of the Lord, nothing but the blessings of the Lord. And the great blessings that we are in the form of a human body. But unfortunately, we are trapped. How we are trapped? Arjuna asked Bhagavan, Lord Krishna. It looks like we are forcibly doing action. We are forced to do action. Yes, you are forced to do action. But who has created it? It is you, my dear. How? Because you have been time and again, you have been coming and going. And every time you come, you build up new desire. You try to enjoy this as a master. And that is the reason that you are coming and going. And you are untrapped. And I cannot help you. Sorry. So Arjuna, try to understand what is the reason. Ichcha dvesa samatvena dvanda mohena bharat. Mastani sarva bhutani sargajanti parat. Abrahma bhuvana lokam pratyavartanu Arjun. And this is everywhere. For the entire 14 cosmos planetary systems, entire 14 lokas, everywhere it is there. What is the reason? Ichcha, the desire. Dvesha, associated with your jealousness, enviousness. Combination of desire and enviousness. Rising to what? Confusion. What is the confusion? I am not the soul. I am the body. Ichcha dvesa samutvena dvanda mohena bharat. And the confusion is the great illusion. It's creating the illusion, and we are creating the illusion ourselves. Because we are associated with the material that is inferior quality of the Lord. And that's how we all are getting trapped. Since we are our association is with material energy, that's we are totally trapped, totally getting dependency on the mental energy. And this is a very difficult situation for everybody. How we are trapped, we don't know. Very clearly in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, Lord has explained everything. Dhyayato vishayan punsam sangam teshu pajayate sangat sanchayate kamat krodha vishayate krodhat labhati sammoha sutibhibrama sutibhansa buddhinasa achirena vinishya. And this is the cycle that we are falling trapped. The desire, which is the cause of all entrapment, is playing a role here. The moment we are getting attracted and getting associated with something, and that association is also very internal thing. If I am deeply engrossed in tamasic activities, I'll be attracted towards the tamasic thoughts. If I am having a lot of rajasic guna inside, I'll be attracted towards the rajasic activities, rajasic things, articles. And if it is sattvic, again, that will be attracted towards the sattvic environment, sattvic things. So this is the catch. Dhyayato vishayan punsam sangam teshu pajayate. I am getting associated. My mind is getting associated with that particular thing, the vishaya. And when we are attracted and getting associated with that vishaya, we are developing a lust or kama, desire. And unfulfilled desire leads to what? You understand that, we all of us understand that. Unfulfilled desire, and that is most of the time it happens, leads to anger. Kamat krodha avijayat. Krodhat labhoti sambhoha. Sambhohat suti vibhrama. Sambhoha is mine, the possessiveness. It is mine, it is me who have done it. It is I who need to enjoy this. It is me who has done it and I must enjoy this, the potency to do that. And that leads to what? That leads to degradation of the intelligence. And when our intelligence gets degraded, when totally our intelligence gets degraded, thereafter what happens? That we fall in the trap of forgetfulness. And Lord Krishna, he again says in 9th chapter, again repeated this. Because of the false intelligence, the loss of intelligence, what happens? Moghasha, mogha karmana, mogha jnana, vichetasha. As rakhyasi asurim chaiva, prakruti mohinam sruta. This is a very, very illusion state. Moghasa, because of this limited intelligence, moghasa. What we do? We play with mogha asa. The lower form of your desire, asa. Moghasha, mogha karmana. And we started engaging in the lower form of activities, that is material activities. Our knowledge become very limited to very lower form of knowledge. Moghasha, mogha karmana, mogha jnana, vichetasa. And the consciousness move in different level. Is split. The consciousness retreat. It goes in a different way. Moghasa, mogha karmana, mogha jnana, vichetasha. And what? We get again associated with the Rakhyasi and Asuri Chaiva, Prakruti Mohinim Srita. And we take the shelter of the Prakrutis, the Mohini, the most attractive, the power of Prakriti, the material world. And that's why I got trapped of the Rakhyasi and Asuri characteristic. And this is a very dangerous situation. And this situation is called the complete fall down. Pranishyati, that means the jiva fall down in the material ocean. So what is the solution? What is the solution? Lord says, Prasade sarva dukkhana hanirasti upajayate prasanna chetasovasu parabuddhi avatistate. Now I'm giving you the solution. What is the solution? Prasade. With my blessings, everything, all the arrangement has been done to get the blessings of the Lord. Directly, indirectly, potentially, everywhere there is, the prasada is everywhere. But unfortunately, we're not able to get the acceptance of the prasad because of the contamination. And Lord says, Prasade sarva dukkhana hanirasti upachayate prasanna chetasovasu parabuddhi avatistate. Your intelligence will again regain that potency. You'll regain the intelligence again. By what? By getting the blessings of mind. And you can get rid of all these problems that you are entrapped with. But you need to be qualified for that. You need to have the qualification to accept that prasadam. And Pṛthu Mahārāja has given the demonstration how to qualify the prasadam. And what is the qualification? How you can qualify? Raga dvesha vimukteshu vishayan indriyascharan. And once the raga, the attachment, the confusion, the enviousness, the desire, if you subdue that things, raga and dvesha, and you get rid of that raga and dvesha, and move away from the visha, the material attachment, then we establish ourselves, we start understanding who am I. Thereafter, the realization comes with Atma Bodha. Atma Bodha will come thereafter. What is the Atma Bodha? Jiver Swarupaya Krishna Nityadas. I am the energy of the Lord, and I got the power to get out from this Maya. And when we take the responsibility, taking that responsibility is in your hand. And when we take that responsibility, What he says? Atma bodha vidheya atma prasadam adhigacchati. You are qualified to get the prasada when you are doing these two things. You have the understanding of your Atma, who are you, Atma Bodha, and following the process, Vidheya Atma. Then you are qualified for the prasad. And Pṛthu Mahārāja, Bhishma Pitamaha, all the big saints, the Navajogendra, they've given this, how beautifully they discharged the responsibility and moved away, being in this material earth, being in this highly attractive Mohini, Prakriti Mohini. They transcend from this level to the spiritual level. And it is called Bhakti. And Bhakti, the very beautiful way, in Narad Pancharatra it has been described. Sarvopādhe vinirmuktam tat paraktena nirmalam. Rishikena risikesa sevanim bhakti. Sarvo upadhi vinirmuktam. Now he has given all the designation. Pṛthu Mahārāja has given all the designation to Lord Krishna. And he got liberated, completely liberated from that. And when we're associated with the designation, there is always an association of your mind, identity with the mind. And that's never allow us to progress in our spiritual life. Starting from chapter 7 till 13th chapter, and again further also, Lord Krishna has given the emphasis on how to engage your mind and intelligence. Maya Vishya Mano Partha Yoga Junjan Madash. Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto Madzazi Mam Namasku. Maya Avesita Chetasa, the Chetana, the mind, the intelligence, everything has to be effort to the Lord. And that is the process we learn from the Mahatma. And what they're talking, Sarvopādhi Vinirmukta. When you move away from all the designation, we liberate from the designation, when we give up the designation, then we start becoming purified. Purification. And we start engaging our senses, including the mind, for the service of the Lord. And that is devotional service. And from Srimad Bhagavatam, we get to learn how sublime this process is. How beautifully the process has been discharged by lots and lots of devotees, described in Srimad Bhagavatam. And Pṛthu Mahārāja has given the demonstration, how he's given up all his designation and everything has been surrendered to Krishna. Bhishma Pitamaha was in the Sarasajya, and he offered, he wanted to surrender to Krishna. Iti mati rupa kalpita vidubna. Well, he has beautifully glorified the Lord, and each and every glorification, if you read that, what he says, Mama Anubidya. Anubidya, that means unconditional, unalloyed devotional service be there. For long time, I have been married to all my senses. I have so many words, all the senses, this Karmendriya, Jnanendriya, and my mind, I have been married to them. I've been attached to deep love for them. But now what am I doing with my intelligence, with the grace of the God? What I'm doing? I'm asking all my wives to come together and surrender ourselves to the lotus feet of the Lord. This is the prayer of Bhishma Pitamaha. Rati Anubidya. Let me have the Anubidya Rati, unconditional and unadulterated, undiluted, the interest for the lotus feet of the Lord. He may say that I'm dying, so let me be liberated. But he knows that he is dying today in front of the Lord. But still what he is praying, let me have that anubidya rati on him. That means he's assured about his next birth. Bhakta never says that I will be liberating and I'll be merging with this. My soul will be merged with the affluence of the Lord. No. He's very well knew that I'm going to be given another body. Maybe in the Sajujya, Sarupya, whatever be, but I'll be given. But whatever I be given, all the time the anubidya rati has to be there. All my senses, my body, mind, everything, whatever I will be having, I should still have the anubidya rati unto his lotus feet. This is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also given this. Apani karimu bhakta bhave angikare. Apani karimu bhakta bhave angikare. Apani achari bhakti sikhaevu savari. Angikar. I'll experience that devotional service by myself. By doing what? By becoming a bhakta. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and is given each and every ABCD of the devotional service. If you'll see this is the Gundicha margin. He never says that you go there and do this. No. He went there. How, in what mode the Gundicha has to be served? The Gundicha has to be, the temple has to be cleaned. And he demonstrated it very well. How to beg, even going with the devotees and begging for your mercy. How to have darshan of Lord Jagannath. And what is the bhava of that? How to demonstrate responsibility as a devotee. How to demonstrate behavior as a devotee. Trinadapi sunichena tarurapi sahistuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sada. And all the great incarnation comes just to help us to understand the real potency of the devotional service. By demonstrating their behavior, so that we understand that and we learn that. They are just for our benefits. Apani karimu bhakta bhave angikare. Apani achari bhakti sikhaimu savari. Savari means to everybody. How to chant. What is the mood of chanting? What is the way of demonstrating behavior? How to surrender to a devotee? Everything Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given a teaching to us. And also the most important one, who am I? By demonstrating Jiver Swarupai Krishna Nityadas. And how to fall in love with Krishna, he taught us. And that is the beauty of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu demonstrating. Amrish Maharaj, Bali Maharaj, Pṛthu Maharaj, Bhishma Pitamaha, Vidur. Vidur was praised very with all type of every kind of hearted love, heartful of love by Bhishma. Because Bhishma, the Pancha Pandava was very close to Bhishma, and particularly Arjuna. And when he got to know that all the Pandavas with Kunti were being killed or were been burned to ashes in your what is that? And that in Lakshagraha. And Bhishma was totally devastated. And he was wondering, where is Vidura? And Vidura came. And Vidura narrated what is the position. Vidura told Bhishma Pitamaha, no, don't worry, you don't have to be worried, because they are now under the protection of the Lord. And Bhishma Pitamaha became completely happy, and he requested for Vidura to ask whatever you like, you tell me. Whatever you want, tell me, I'll give you. I'll fulfill your desire. Vidura folded his hand, knelt down, hold the hand of Bhishma Pitamaha and says, Pitamaha, you are the knower of the Lord. You know what is the position of the Lord. And please tell me, give me one boon, one benediction, how I can have undiluted, unconditional love for Krishna. And I don't want anything else. This is how we should learn from the Mahājana. Mahājana ena gatasya pantha. And this is the glory of all this devotional service. And here Pṛthu Mahārāja is being qualified as a Prabhu. Who is a Prabhu? The Prabhu is the one who is completely liberated from the material contamination, completely given up the devotees, your upadhi. And Lord Krishna is explaining beautifully in chapter 12 about and he himself glorifies the qualities of the Lord, qualities of the Prabhus, the devotees. What is that? Advishta sarva bhutana maitra karuna evacha nirmamo niraham krutva sukham dukkham samukhyam santushta satatam yogi jatatma drudha nishchaya maya arpito mano buddhayo shamay yukta tamamata. This is the quality, 24 qualities here demonstrated. He says, the very, very dear to me. Advishta sarva bhutana. He is not envious, but a kind friend of every living entities. He never claimed that he is the master. Does not think himself as the proprietor. Nirmamo niraham krutva. Free from all false ego. Equal in both happiness and distress. Equiposed. Extremely tolerant. Rather, the first quality of the devotee described by Kapil Muni was the tolerance. Titikshavaha karunika suhrudam sarvadehina ajata satruva santa sadhava sadhu bhushanam. This is the qualities of the devotees, the Prabhus. Kapil Muni also described, and you'll find the similarity of this. The tolerance. All is satisfied. Santushtaha satatam yogi. And he's put all kind of endeavors in what? In developing the love towards Krishna. Developing the devotional service towards Krishna. Santushtaha satatam yogi jatatma. Jatatma. He's put all kind of efforts with utmost care. Is not just putting efforts, but putting efforts with utmost care, with complete determination. Jatatma drudha nishchaya maya arpito mano buddhayo, and is completely surrender his mind and intelligence to the Lord. And Lord says, he is most dearest to me. Most dearest to me. And what he does? Mahatmane Shumam Pṛthu Daivi Prakriti Masrita. They completely dependent on the spiritual energy of the Lord. And he never lament, na kakshati, na kankhati, na sochati, na kankhati. And this is the stage where the devotee completely liberate and be handed over by the Maya to the supreme energy of the Lord. Daivesha gunamai mama maya durattaya mame vaja prapadyanti maya vetantarante. And what you do? You become totally dependent on the supreme energy of the Supreme Lord. Mahatmane Shumam Pṛthu Daivi Prakriti Masrita Bhajate Ananya Manasu Kyatva Mam Adimappe. He knows me very completely in fullest form. I am the creator of everything. Very well he knows. And knowing what he does, he completely surrendered to me, being dependent on my spiritual energy. And this is what being demonstrated by whom? By Pṛthu Mahārāja. So this is the loving relations between the Krishna and his devotee. And we have run out of time. I'm sorry to taking extra 5 minutes because the topic is very, very, very wonderful topic. And this is the topic which elevate one from immediately elevate someone from a material entanglement to the spiritual power, the spiritual love. That's why it has always been said, Prabhupada says, with the last word of Prabhupada, always be in great association, devotee association. The devotee association will help us the opportunity to glorify devotees. And that's why we can probably, this will be the way that means we can cleanse our contaminated heart. And this is glorification is a real sure way, it means a very sublime way to cleanse your heart and to understand the power of devotional service, understand the love of the Lord. So this is what I'm so sorry for. I'm not expert or not having that kind of quality by myself to describe all about this. And whatever, if you would like to add something, that will be great for us. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thanks a lot for the wonderful class. I think nobody understood that how the time went on. I think everybody is engrossed in our class. I mean, just to mention in one or two sentences, you said that like how we are trapped in this material world, and then what is the solution to become a devotee. So you have like given the complete process, like how to elevate ourselves from the completely fallen down state to the pure devotee stage. Thank you, Prabhuji. Devotees lines are unmuted and devotees can unmute and ask any questions.
Thank you.
Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhu, can you explain the Anuvidya Rati once?
Anuvidya is uncontaminated, unconditional and uncontaminated Rati. Rati means a love, interest. Tato Shraddha, Tato Sadhu Sangha, Tato Bhajana Kriya. This is the process of Rati, right? Rati is the Anurag, the love for the Lord. Anuvidya means unconditional and uncontaminated. That is the pure form. So it is Bhishma Pitamaha, it is the prayer of Bhishma Pitamaha, who says all this. And if you can read that, that will be, you'll find amazing verses from Bhishma Pitamaha Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. I'll write that few there's a verse that I have in front of me, Mataji. Swanigama apahaya mat pratigya. Swanigama apahaya mat pratigya. Rutam adhikartum abalupta rathasta dhruta. Dhrutarutha charanam abhityam chaladguhu. Haririva hantum ivam gata uttariya. There is a beautiful verse that you read it. It is coming from Canto 1 and chapter 9. And you can please read it, the chapter verses from the 30th to 40th. These are all described.
Yes.
There's
Yes,
1:9 from 30th to 40th or 42. This is the verses. Thank you, Mother.
Thank you, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, devotees, any other questions?
So, thank you very much, Prabhu. If you want to have any question, that you can see. Vancha kalpatarubhishya kripasindu bhaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Ananta Kodi Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Radha Kund Shyama Kund Giri Govardhan ki
Jai.
Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai ki jai.
Jai.
Guru Gaurang ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
All glories to assembled devotee.
Hare
All glories to assembled devotee. All glories to assembled devotee. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class, and thanks all the devotees for active hearing. Earlier we used to summarize more. Now, because of devotees' feedback, we are giving more time for question and answers. So, yeah. Thank you.